Hello, and thank you for joining us. President Trump laid out his priorities Tuesday night during a record-breaking State of the Union address. The 1 hour and 47-minute-long speech touched on everything from the economy and immigration to the Olympics and limits on congressional stock trading.
Today, our border is secure. Our spirit is restored. Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are rising fast. The roaring economy is roaring like never before. And our enemies are scared.
The night also saw a number of awards and honors handed out. A 100-year-old Korean War veteran and a pilot wounded in the raid that captured former Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro received medals of honor during the address. The president also announced a Medal of Freedom for Team USA hockey goalie and took time to honor the National Guard members who were shot in D.C. last November.
She was so strong and conclusive that even Andrew's great father felt she didn't really understand the gravity of the situation. But she turned out to be right. Right, Melanie? Present Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf and the great family of Sarah Beckstrom with the award created by our late, great President George Washington himself. It's called the Purple Heart.
The night was not without controversy. Some Democrats held up signs protesting the president. Congresswomen Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar shouted at him when he was speaking about his crackdown on illegal immigration. In a social media post today, President Trump criticized the Congresswomen, calling them lunatics and mentally deranged. He also added they should be sent back to where they came from. Tlaib was born and raised in Detroit. Omar became a citizen in 2000. At a retreat for Democrats in Virginia, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries said, quote, the xenophobic rhetoric of Donald Trump directed at two members of the House Democratic caucus is sadly not surprising, but it's disgraceful, it's unpresidential, unpatriotic, and un-American. Last night, Virginia Governor Abigail Spanberger delivered the Democratic rebuttal attacking the president's economic record.
Americans deserve to know that their leaders are focused on addressing the problems that keep them up at night. Problems that dictate where you live, whether you can afford to start a business or whether you have to skip a prescription in order to buy groceries. So I'll ask again, is the president working to make life more affordable for you and your family? We all know the answer is no.
CBS News White House reporter Olivia Rinaldi joins me now. So, Olivia, CBS polling from before the speech showed most Americans wanted the president to focus on the cost of living, prices, the economy. Did he deliver on that?
Well, Lindsay, it's a good question. Our CBS News polling found that 67 amount of respondents said they wanted to hear about the cost of living, and 62% of respondents to our poll said they want to hear about the economy, and 53% said they want to hear about ICE deportations. But I went back and I checked the log, and the president made no mention of ICE. He made no mention of the immigration raids across the U.S. He has talked about cramping down on the border, making sure no one is coming across the U.S. border, but he has not spoken about ICE and those immigration raids. Now, on the economy, he did talk about making the U.S. more affordable, about trying to bring prices down, such as grocery prices and high prices of rent. But he did talk about his tariff agenda pretty significantly throughout it. He talked about the trade deals that the U.S. has made with a variety of different countries and the fact that the basis of those trade deals will still remain in place, even though the Supreme Court repealed part of the Trump Trade Act or Trump tariffs last week by ruling that they were illegal. So despite all of this, the president really focusing on the economy, on immigration, but not some of those things that Americans tell us that they're feeling the squeeze on at home.
Did he do anything to assuage concerns of Americans over tariff refunds or potential action in Iran?
Well, no mention on those tariff refunds, as we just talked about the tariff policy. But on Iran, it took the president an hour and a half to even mention Iran in his speech. And when he did mention Iran, he didn't talk about the buildup of the military around the Mediterranean Sea and the Persian Gulf right now. But what he did talk about was Operation Midnight Hammer. Now, that was that bombing mission that took place last June, where U.S. B-2 bombers attacked some of the Iranian nuclear capability in country. But the president did not mention really any potential new attacks that could happen in Iran. And we know that lead negotiators, are meeting tomorrow about Iran and about their nuclear programs. That would be Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. They're meeting in Geneva with some of the Iranian delegation for these indirect talks. But still, 72% of Americans say they wanted to hear the president talk about Iran and the plans that they have there. But yet the president did not talk about that last night.
Okay. Olivia Rinaldi, thank you so much.